Yes, yes, Pete's man. We're back again. We're back again with another real baller. Real baller. Yeah, I'm saying. Estevão, man. Absolutely fantastic player. Absolutely fantastic. Guys, you'd have to go on my YouTube channel. I think it was back in 2023. What are we now? 25. It might be 23, could have been early 2024, but we spoke about him. We spoke about him when he was about 16, 15 or 16, actually. I remember him kind of coming on the scene for Palmeiras. This is when Endrick and all of that, and then he was the next one, and people were telling me that, nah, Estevão was better than Endrick. Now, obviously, we're seeing what's going on with Endrick at this moment in time. Can't really get games, but he is at Real Madrid, so there is, of course, context. And he's not really finding a foothold in Europe. Do you get what I mean? He's not really finding a foothold. And Estevão, like I said, a real baller, like proper. He is really about what he's about. And I think one thing I really like about Estevão, before we look at, stats and all of the other kind of stuff, right? The thing I love about him is that he's spoken, I've seen little quotes. I think he did an interview the other day, and he's spoken about, being able to like adapt to Europe, adapt to the Premier League, adapt to English football. And he said, effectively, he's been able to kind of adapt. He's not 100% there yet, but he's been able to kind of adapt to the whole English football. Now, I understand not everybody can just boom, 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 boom. We've seen it. Kevin De Bruyne, yeah, I mean, game Chelsea was looking kind of crazy, went away, came back. One of the best midfielders we've ever seen in Premier League history. So I do understand that there is context, but when there is players like this is where some players they separate. Like Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard came from the French league straight away. When it came to Chelsea, he was on job. And we're talking about a special player. Now, I'm not saying Kevin De Bruyne isn't equally as special. I get that other players will take a bit of time. But when we're talking about real juggernautes, when we're talking about real ballers, when we're talking about players who forget the excuses, and I love players like this. I love players like this. Forget about his technical ability, and we already know. I don't even need to talk about it. You've seen the highlights. You've seen the videos when he was in Brazil. You've seen the videos when he's now in, at Chelsea in England. So you've seen all of that kind of stuff. For me, it's not even about that. It's the lack of excuses, and I love that because football right now, especially with fans and stuff, it's too much excuses. Every day there's always an excuse. Every day there's yeah, but he needs to get acclimatized to the Premier League, and yeah, he needs to get acclimatized. Like we speak about like Bertz, for example, a guy who came from Germany to England. We're talking about he needs to adapt. You don't think Brazil is harder to come to from to come to England, but we're talking about yeah, he's got to adapt, brother. You either got the juice or you don't. And if I'm being honest, Estevão for me, he got the juice. He got the juice, man. He's got the juice, man. He's a fantastic player. Obviously you've seen all here, like, I mean, he's the third most valuable player apparently, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, considering you've got Mastantuono there and Wanyeri's in there. Obviously, he's only behind Yamal, Kubasi, who are obviously two players at like an elite level, in my personal opinion. When we're looking here, now, this is actually something I really, really wanted to talk about. So you can see here, effectively, he is a number 10. He is more of a number 10. He is a player who would like to prefer to float around, in those kind of pockets of spaces. And to be honest, as you can kind of see here, he's already effectively doing that with Chelsea, but kind of a bit more on that right hand side, right? One thing I heard Enzo Maresca, and I thought this was so key. He spoke about Cole Palmer. We'll look at Cole Palmer in a sec. He spoke about Cole Palmer, when he was at Manchester City, obviously whilst he was there, and then obviously now at Chelsea, being a number 10. But first of all, kind of plotting out on the wide right, plotting out on that side purely because you need to almost get used to the intensity. He's saying the same things for Estevão, same things, which is he's not a number 10 in the Premier League just yet, of course. Now that might change, or he might actually just become a bad boy right winger who can just kind of float in and all of that stuff. Who knows? But right now he's not a number 10 in the Premier League, and I agree. He isn't a number 10. He isn't as strong. In terms of the acclimatizing, yeah, I would say maybe in terms of the intensity, he would still need to kind of work upon. But he's quick in thought, he's quick in mind enough to be able to kind of allow him to do the stuff that he is doing. So the quick dribbles, quick touches on the ball and stuff like that, he can do that because he's so quick in the head. Forget that he's so quick on the ball. He's so quick. He already knows what he's going to do. He's already on step 3 while you're still doing step 1. That's why he can do some of the stuff that he is doing. So yeah, in theory, he could technically play in a number 10 position, but that's a very tough. We've seen, like I said, we speak about Florian Wirtz. You talk about the Cole Palmers. There's not really even that many number 10s. I would say out and out number 10. They're all kind of float here, float. People used to call Erdegaard a number 10. I wouldn't really. He's more of a right-sided 8. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he prefers to just kind of float, drop in, move right, move kind of in the pockets of spaces behind the striker, link up with the right winger, all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's the way I look at, say, someone like a Cole Palmer, for example, who I would say is now a number 10. But if I was to watch a game, or when I watch the game, should I say, sorry, and I'm watching him, I'm like, is he a number 10? Because I see him out there on the left wing, on the right wing, on this wing, and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. So it's a bit difficult. So when I'm looking at like Estevão, I feel like he's going through the same kind of process that Cole Palmer is, which is start out on the right, get used to the toughness, go up against your fullback, understand what it's like to go up against these kind of fullbacks, understand what it's like to, really be pressed, in those kind of situations. How do you handle those situations? Because if you can handle it out there, we can put you in the middle now. Now, obviously, the middle, of course, you've got brute centre backs who might be, who might push up and stuff like that to try and press you so that you don't win the ball. But you'll be a lot more used to it, as opposed to now if you come in straight away into that number 10 position and you're battling and fighting and you're not even used to the Premier League and you're not used to the intensity, but you're beefing this person and that person, and it can knock confidence. It can really, and he's young. He's a young Brazilian, so you don't really want to do that at this kind of current stage. So yeah, I think it's really a very good development plan, I would say, for Maresca for what he's actually trying to do with Estevão. Again, he's not even starting all the games. Man's coming off the bench here, coming off the bench there. Brilliant. I love all of that because I'm just like, yeah, let's keep it at that. Let's keep it. Let's not push him. Do you know what I mean? Too much. Let's not put him. I don't want to say too much in the limelight, but we don't need to. You don't need to rush him. There doesn't need to be a level of rush. There doesn't need to be a level of like, oh, he's got to play now. Like ultimately, he's not a Lamine Yamal where it's like from the jump he can just play kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and especially context being Chelsea have got players like a Cole Palmer and other players who can play out there on the wing. So it's not necessarily a need for him to. You need to play today. Like Chelsea are not missing him, so to speak, if he doesn't play. And again, this isn't to diminish him. I'm just saying it's a bit different, like I said, than a Lamine Yamal, where when he kind of came through, listen, Lamine Yamal, one of the best players in the world, and he was only able to do that via playing. Now, ultimately, he was coming into a team that wasn't really doing so well. I know they just won the league and stuff like that under Javi, but you could see the team was kind of, it wasn't really all there kind of thing. Obviously, Barca, we know with their money troubles, etc., etc. So Estevão still has, I feel like he's even got a bit more room to develop. And I think now what I think you'll end up seeing is that this won't be a case of what I see with a lot of young players, which is you get thrust into the limelight, you get thrust into the first team, and everyone's like, oh my God, he must be really good, blah, blah, blah. We saw it with Miles Lewis-Skelly, who I think is a really good player, right? They get thrust into the first team and everyone's like, yeah, he has to play. Is he getting there on merit? Or is he getting there because you have a problem on that side of the pitch and he is the best available option? Now, listen, of course, if you're the best available option, there's something to be said about that. But you're not really getting there on merit. You're getting there just because, this guy's injured, that guy's injured, and that guy's injured, so he has to play. I think by Chetic. Do you get what I'm saying? Players like that where you're like, you're not really getting it on merit. You're not getting it because you earned the position. You're getting there because there's no one else and you're the best available option. You might be doing well. I'm not saying you're not. And again, you can potentially forge something from that. But when everyone comes back now, now you're starting to get dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. With Estevão, I feel like he's actually earning the place. Now, of course, like I said, Cole Palmer's injured. So that there is something to be said about that. And it will be interesting to see how he would play both of those two players because, with Cole Palmer, the early part of the season, something that I was seeing was, you can see with the heat map here, so kind of out there on that left-hand side. So and again, obviously he's been injured, so I don't know what Maresca is going to see. I don't know how Maresca is going to kind of view this situation, but he might view it as, okay, maybe I can just play Cole Palmer out there on the left. Again, maybe I can just put Cole Palmer in the 10 position, Estevão on the right, whoever on the left, whether it be Gittins, whether it be Neto, Joao Pedro, if you want to throw him out, whoever's out there, and the both of them can still actually play together. I don't know. I really don't know how he sees that situation, but it's going to be an interesting one when Cole Palmer is back and he is fit. But at this moment in time, I just look at Estevão and I'm thinking, you're earning it, but again, when Cole Palmer's back and the team is a fully fit team, we're really going to see how good you are. we're really going to see, are you getting into the team on merit, or are you getting into it because players are injured and there's a space for you to kind of get in there? And again, I don't want to diminish players who get into teams that way. Ultimately, listen, you're trying to get into the team regardless, so it doesn't really actually matter. What I'm saying is, you guys will understand there are players who have only come through. Miles Lewis Skelly, as an example, Calafiori injured last season. They didn't have a replacement like Hincapié. Guess what? This season, Miles Lewis Skelly ain't even starting like that. Do you get what I'm saying? Calafiori's back. They've got Hincapié. They're good. They've got the cover. You're now just, yeah, you can play these games because you're good enough. You've shown that you are actually a good player. So you can play odd games, but you're going to play the amount of games that you probably should have played last season had Calafiori been fit, had they had a Hincapié instead of a Zinchenko, as an example. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a bit different. You're seeing it now. Now, that's not to diminish the player, because he's still a good player. So I want to see what Estevão's like when Cole Palmer's back, when the team is fully fit. Is he still getting into the team? Then I know, okay, yeah, he actually fully deserves it. He actually fully deserves it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you can see that regardless of who's there, the manager's always picking him because of the job that he's able to do. But when we're just talking about a player, a baller, technical ability, aesthetically pleasing, all of that stuff, bro. Like I said, I didn't even need to talk about that too much because he's all of that. He's got the Brazilian flair. And like I say, the Brazilians these days are looking a bit European. Do you get what I'm saying? And we need to see a bit more Joga Bonito. We need to kind of see that. And I want to bring that back. I would like for them to bring that back, should I say? Because that is Brazil. That's the Brazil that I grew up on. It's the Brazil that been winning World Cups, from back in the Zico days and them type of thing. Like, that's the Brazil that we know. So I want to see a bit of that back. I'm tired of all of these. This is what annoys me when people get onto Vinicius. I'm like, bro, you want Joga Bonito? He gives you Joga Bonito, and people get angry about it. Neymar, the same thing. People get mad about it. Oh, he's being disrespectful. Forget all of that, bro. Do your thing. Do your thing, because no one was calling Ronaldinho disrespectful. Yeah, I mean, we just sat there and applauded and admired what was kind of going on. And I want to see the same thing, with Estevão. But yeah, man, big up to him. Big up to him. Like I said, I think he's a really good player. I'm just more intrigued as to see how it's going to kind of continue. But I do think he's adapted to the league and he's doing really, really well at this current moment in time. Let's just wait and see, though. Players go through dips. So I want to know, what is he like in those kind of moments? What does he offer you when he's not necessarily performing at his best, when he's not able to do the Joga Bonito because he's got a left back, as an example, who is just on his case. It doesn't let him breathe, doesn't even let him move. What does he do in those kind of situations? I would love to see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Estevão. How good of a player do you think he is? Chelsea fans, how good do you think he is going to become? And is there a world that we're going to see Cole Palmer and Estevão on the same pitch at the same time? Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace.